Artober Learning Labs!
On today's Artober Learning Labs, we are featuring the Hiram Van Gordon Gallery at Tennessee State University. We'll learn about the history and heritage of TSU, its award-winning athletes, and everything surrounding homecoming. I'm so glad.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh,
I don't know. All right, hello everybody. I'm Courtney Adair Johnson, the gallery director from the Department of Art and Design here at Tennessee State University.
Hello, I'm Michael McBride, TSU alumnus and also art professor at Tennessee State University, Department of Art and Design.
We welcome you here today to the Hiram Van Gordon Gallery for the exhibit, I'm So Glad. So we're going to start the show out with some maps of the university. So the first one is actually a postcard, dates early on campus, and then we're moving into, I think this is the 50s. We could tell the date by the Department of Physical Plants director at the time. We've got some other ones that were produced by Public Relations, and then an aerial shot. A lot of these, you can see the job jackets. These came from printing services, and so these were sometimes the originals before they went to print. You can see notes sort of scratched into the copies. These artifacts right here, I think are very interesting. You know, to the layman's eyes, maybe would be passed by, but to a TSU historian and alumni, I think that they're important artifacts. The back window came from the old Arts Industrial Building. This is from the Humanities, outside the Humanities building. It was built in 1933. So this is maybe one of the original lamps, and the chandelier came from the president's office at one point. Can you tell us about her?
This is Jane B. Elliott. Elliott Hall is named after her. Elliott Hall, this particular building that the art department, art gallery is in, was initially the women's building. It's what they call a women's building. It was a women's dorm. It was also a cafeteria. That big room out there was cafeteria, and downstairs was the kitchen, which is now our ceramics room.
So one interesting thing in getting the collection, or Steve's collection, is they did a renovation a couple years ago to Elliott, and it was historic renovations, and so they collected all of these old photos so that they could replicate certain aspects of the building. So this is one that they collected. That showed our building through the years. So our building is the oldest one on campus. It was built in 1927. This is a dorm bed that at one time, you know, supplied all the beds, and they were collected and disposed of. This one survived. Talk about that picture, Michael. Right here? Yeah.
Okay, this is really nostalgic. So this bridge that went across Jefferson Street, before it was a straight through street. So in order for students to get across from one side of the campus to the other, you would go across this bridge. On this bridge, all the fraternities and sororities had their spot, as you can see. Different ones had their name on it. And along here was a brick wall. So what was so cool about that, it was a beautiful bridge. I hate they tore it down because it was a work of art. And along that was the brick walls on both sides. So every day, around 3 o'clock, students would line up and sit on the wall. They used to always say sitting on the wall. Around 3 o'clock, they'd sit on the wall to about 5 or 6 on both sides, and cars were coming through and people coming through, stopping, talking, laughing, doing everything. It was part of the whole thing. So when they tore the bridge down, it's kind of like they threw away the whole character of what that was about and kind of closed the campus off.
This next framed photograph is a beautiful representation of all of our Miss TSUs, starting from, what do we have, 37?
Yeah,
so 1937, I think fulfilling every year to 1987. So it's fun to look at the different styles, how they were doing their hair, the dresses, how they dressed up or dressed down, but mostly dressed up through the years. So we're now going into the alumni section. We're only highlighting a few of our very many alumni. I just want to say that only had so much room. as you're going through, we have, of course, Oprah, other actors, Mose Gunn.
Yeah, Moses Gunn.
Mose Gunn, sports.
I think his name was James Moondog something. I forget his last name, but his nickname is Moondog.
Yes, so batteries not included, star. This is one of my favorites that I found, was Jefferson Street Joe Gillum, and you could purchase a t-shirt with that said.
Sure
going into basketball, Harlem Globetrotters. Michael mentioned.
Yeah, I mentioned that Tennessee State has the largest number of basketball players that play for the Globetrotters. I think it was like 14 of their players have played for the Globetrotters.
Yeah, I think there's 2 highlighted on this page, and then of course the one-armed wonder, Boyd Blue, came from TSU as a one-armed basketball player, went on to the Globetrotters. So our next section is the Tiger Bells and our track, the Olympic tradition here. So we, these 3 pictures are from 1985 track team. We go into Wilma Rudolph with John F. Kennedy. This is some footage from 1964 of the Tiger Bells racing. So football, homecoming, October. We're highlighting some of the legacies of TSU, Big John. Mm-hmm. We've got Craig Gillum, who played football here and then went on to be a coach. Mm-hmm. What's the relationship between
brothers?
Yeah, are they brothers?
Yeah,
okay.
Craig is the oldest.
So
Craig was the oldest.
Craig Gillum, Joe Gillum, our legacies here at TSU.
And TSU has a great number of football players that have gone to the NFL. A huge number. I'm not sure where they're located. I don't know if they're right behind Alabama, in front of Alabama, or whatever it is, but a ton of players to go to the pros.
The history of putting this show together came about through conversation, like most things. You get a little ball rolling. Talking to my art department chair at the time, Carlisle Johnson, he told me about Steve Gillette, who was the facilities director at the time, had a collection of TSU ephemera and artifacts. And so that really sparked my interest. I'm really drawn in art to saving things and memorializing forgotten objects. So that's very interesting to me. And so I went to Steve and found out a little bit more about his collection, and through that we amassed his material, and I started processing it, going through it. Thanks for joining us today at I'm So Glad in the Hiram Van Gordon Gallery. You can view the show online at tnstate.edu/art. Find the gallery page, and that will link you over to a digital showing of the gallery.
And thank you for viewing, and I just want to say I'm so glad I went to TSU, and I'm so glad I am at TSU.
I'll second that. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a great day.